We need to sit down and we need to have a conversation. We need to talk with Metro. We need to talk with the individuals that are working in the judicial system. We need to hold this judge accountable and understand why she did what she did, and how do we make sure that that does not happen again.
They're all gone. I need the police. I don't know who it is to come.
You need
They're all
police
gone.
or medical?
I need medical. I hear one of the kids, they're breathing. They're trying to breathe.
This man, with 9 felony charges for crimes against young ones, walked out of jail because a judge took his word that he was safe. He went home, picked up a gun nobody ever told him to put down, and made sure that nobody, including his wife, would ever testify against him.
Happy birthday to baby.
Shanara Patterson was born on December 10th, 1989, in Long Beach, California. And if you had seen her life the way she showed it online, you would have thought this woman had everything going for her. Was the kind of person who made everything around her look good. Not just the hair she did for clients, but the birthday parties she threw for her kids, the outfits she put together, the little business she was building from the ground up. Growing up in Long Beach alongside her younger sister Michaela, who everybody called Kayla, Shanara was already doing people's hair before she was old enough to get paid for it. She would style her mother Jamesetta's hair, help Kayla get ready, coordinate outfits with hairstyles, because that is just who she was from a young age. She built that love for beauty into a real cosmetology career, specializing in hair braiding, and her work was all over her social media for people to see. She was also the co-founder of On Point Customs, a custom clothing and party favors business she ran as a registered company alongside her husband. And she did event planning on the side because she genuinely loved bringing people together for celebrations. The woman had serious energy, and she put it into everything she touched.
Okay, bitch.
Me too, nigga. Now you're busy loving someone else. 11 years I sacrificed. Love to take your chances, but somehow it seems unfair to me. Oh, you know what?
Just look at the sun. See how deep that bone is?
I'm gonna show you how it's done. This is how you
Show me, bitch. Show me.
this is how you take the tail outside.
Period. See how deep that bone is?
For real though. Teresa, y'all love her.
She had 3 children, each with their own whole personality. Her eldest was Keziah, born in October of 2009, who the family called Zaya, and Keziah was described as goofy and artistic, always drawing something. Then there was her son Derek, born in 2012, who everyone called DJ. Her youngest was Amira, born in September of 2017, nicknamed Duty, and the people who loved her said she was sweet with no mean bone in her body. Now, Let us talk about the man she married, because that is where everything falls apart. Shannara married Marvin Ray Patterson on May 11th, 2019 in Las Vegas, just a few weeks after his previous marriage ended in divorce. She wrote in her wedding registry that he was her soulmate, the person who completed her and appreciated everything about her, including her quirks. Her father, who was fighting cancer at the time, still walked her down the aisle that day, and she carried that moment close to her heart. He passed away not long after the wedding, which hurt Shannara deeply because he had always been her biggest support. From the outside, this family looked like it was thriving. Marvin was also an entrepreneur, and together the couple co-owned On Point Customs, building a business as a team. He played the role of an involved stepfather convincingly enough that nobody in their circle was looking too closely. Their social media was full of birthday parties, family outings, and happy moments. The kind of content that looks completely normal because it is supposed to be. But behind all of that, Marvin had been doing things that would eventually tear everything apart. The allegations against Marvin Patterson went all the way back to 2014, 8 years before anyone arrested him for it. The allegations involved multiple children, and none of it came out until a Child Protective Services report pushed the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police to open an investigation in July of 2022. Most of that time, Marvin Patterson was in and around Shannara's world, close to her children, and the people who should have stopped it not yet connected the pieces.
Now we have one adult male deceased, an adult female deceased, 2 juveniles deceased, and 1 juvenile at UMC Hospital claimed to life.
When police finally arrested him in October of 2022, the list of charges was long and serious. 5 counts of lewdness with a young one under 14, 1 count of lewdness with a young one under 16, 1 count of kidnapping of a young one, and 2 counts of improper touching of a young one under 16. 9 felony charges in total. The kind of charges that put someone away for life. The allegations covered at least 4 young victims and described incidents of inappropriate touching and attempted assault stretching back years. Bail was set at $100,000 with conditions attached: an ankle monitor, no contact with anyone under 18 years old, and the surrender of his passport. Marvin turned himself into police and spent 2 months in jail while his lawyers started working on getting him out. And then the system did something that is very hard to explain. In December of 2022, Marvin's defense team filed a motion asking the court to reduce his bail. They told the court he was not a flight risk because he had turned himself in without being chased down. They said he had roots in the community, that his family depended on him financially, and that the $100,000 bail amount was too much for him to handle. They brought character references from his brother Jason, from Shannara herself, from an ex-girlfriend, and from his son. The prosecutor stood up and said no, that the charges were too serious for him to be released. But on December 15th, 2022, Judge Diana Sullivan reduced Marvin's bail from $100,000 down to just $10,000, citing Nevada Supreme Court guidelines on bail and saying the existing conditions were enough to keep the public safe. He paid the $10,000, walked out, and was sent home on house arrest with an ankle monitor tracking his movements. And critically, nobody ever told him to get rid of his gun. So now you have Marvin Patterson free, wearing an ankle bracelet, facing 9 felony charges involving children, and living in a Las Vegas apartment while he waits for his trial date. The conditions of his release said he could not be around anyone under 18, which meant Shannara and the kids had to live separately from him. That sounds simple enough on paper, but in real life, It means 2 rents in one of the most expensive cities to live in America, with Las Vegas apartments averaging around $1,500 a month in 2023. Marvin was the primary earner in the household, working as a video engineer on top of the clothing business. And the pressure on this family's finances started building immediately. Shannara, for her part, was still standing by her husband. She was still trying to hold the family together from a distance while carrying the weight of finding out what the man she loved had been accused of. The case was moved to district court in March of 2023, with a trial date set for April of 2024, then pushed back to 2025. Every delay was another month of 2 separate rents, and of a family held apart by court orders while the legal process moved at its own pace. And the whole time, the financial pressure kept getting worse. By late November of 2023, things had gotten bad enough that Shannara was evicted from her home, not being able to pay her rent. The landlord confirmed it. Just days before her birthday, with nowhere else to take her kids, it appears she brought them to the one place the courts had told her they should not be: Marvin's apartment at the Loreto and Palacio complex on Oso Blanco Road, the address where he was being monitored under house arrest. The no-contact order that was supposed to keep the children away from him made impossible by the eviction. They were all together again under one roof. December 10th, 2023 was Shannara's 34th birthday. The day itself passed without any reported problems. But that night, Marvin sent a series of text messages to his brother Jason, talking about the eviction, about his car being repossessed, about feeling completely overwhelmed and out of options. The texts read like someone who had hit a wall and could not see past it. Jason read those messages that evening and was worried enough that the next morning he drove to the apartment to check on his brother. What Jason found when he got there is something no person should ever have to walk into. 2 separate people called emergency services that morning: Jason himself and the building's property manager, both reporting the same terrible scene. The Las Vegas police released the 911 audio on December 19th, and it is the kind of recording that stays with you.
One of the children's gasping. It looks like they've all been shot in the back of the head. The 2 adults are in the bed.
Okay. And do they have gun wounds too? Fire medical service.
Las Vegas Metropolitan Police arrived at the apartment that morning and found 4 people who had been shot at close range inside that home. The Clark County coroner later confirmed that the 3 murder victims were 34-year-old Shannara Patterson, 14-year-old Keziah Cohn, and 6-year-old Zamira Patterson, all killed by gunshot wounds to the head. Marvin Patterson, 42 years old, had also shot himself and died at the scene. Shannara's 11-year-old son, Derek, DJ, had been shot in the head as well, but was still alive when emergency services arrived and was rushed to University Medical Center in critical condition.
They're all gone. I need the police. I don't know who it is to come.
You need
They're all
police
gone.
or medical?
I need medical. I hear one of the kids, they're breathing. They're trying to breathe.
Marvin Patterson's brother, frantic, around 10 a.m. December 11th. He says Marvin texted him, overwhelmed. Then he kicked down the apartment door to see the tragedy within.
I saw my nieces, his nephews. I think they're gone. And then he was in the bed with his wife, and they're deceased as well.
The property manager also calling police.
One of the children's gasping. It looks like they've all been shot in the back of the head. The 2 adults are dead in the bed.
Okay. And do they have gunshot wounds too? Fire medical service.
Yes.
Okay. Do not hang up.
Gunshot wounds and blood coming out their ears.
When the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police finished processing that apartment, the picture that came together made a lot of people furious, because it showed clearly that this did not have to happen. District Attorney Steve Wolfson confirmed publicly that Marvin Patterson had been under house arrest at that very apartment where the shooting took place. The ankle bracelet recorded his location the whole time. What it could not do was stop him. Wolfson also confirmed that at least one of the people Marvin killed had been connected to the original abuse allegations that got him arrested in the first place. The coroner ruled all 3 deaths as homicide and Marvin says suicide. And investigators believe Shannara had brought the children to his apartment because she had just been evicted from her own home and had nowhere else to go, which is what collapsed the separation the court order was supposed to maintain.
We are learning the names of the 3 people in yesterday's deadly mass shooting that happened in the Northwest Valley. The Clark County Coroner's Office says 34-year-old Shannara Patterson, 14-year-old Keziah Cohn, and 6-year-old Zamaya Patterson all died after being shot. Police say the Marvin Ray Patterson then turned the gun on himself. An 11-year-old boy also died. A family member telling 8 News Now the boy is clinging to life. And tonight, the families and friends remembering the lives lost. Thank you for joining us at 11. I'm Brian Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez. 8 News Now reporter Lauren Negretti reports from the Northwest Valley where people were gathering for a vigil, just trying to make sense of it all.
Family and friends gather. They describe Shannara as a loving mom and friend, and her girls as just the happiest little girls.
I treated them kids like they was my own.
An emotional night after Monday morning's tragedy. 5 people, 4 dead. The family clinging to their light in the darkness.
This was not supposed to happen.
Jamesetta Bernuti remembering her 34-year-old daughter, Shannara Patterson.
She was sweet, kind, do anything for you.
Shannara's sister, Michaela Bernuti.
She was there no matter who you was, how long she knew you. If she had it, she go give it to you.
Michaela describes her nieces, 14-year-old Keziah Cohn, 6-year-old Zamira Patterson.
Duty, that's Zamira. She was sweet. Like, she was the most innocent child I ever met. Like, she didn't have a mean bone in her body. Keziah was goofy. She loved to draw.
Their brother, Derek Jr., recovering in the hospital.
He's still fighting. We praying for him. He go pull through. He's strong.
Our 8 News Now investigators uncovering police records showing the gunman was accused of child crimes and was on house arrest.
If he had been in jail, none of this would have happened. Where he was supposed to be. I don't think they should have let him out at all.
For now, the family sending up their love and prayers. Lauren Negretti, 8 News Now.
Now, Metro confirms Patterson was on house arrest and forced to wear an ankle monitor. Our 8 News Now investigators discovered he was let out of jail after Judge Diana Sullivan reduced his bail from $100,000 to $10,000. But he was still ordered to stay away from children.
Former Clark County District Attorney David Roger came out publicly and said exactly what a lot of people were thinking. He said the court system failed, that the prosecutors could have pushed harder, and that whoever made the decision to bring those children to Marvin's home under those circumstances also had to carry some responsibility for what happened. He was not pointing fingers to be harsh, saying out loud what the facts of the case showed, that there were multiple moments where someone could have stepped in and did not. Advocate Jasmine Lee from the Doc Ellis Foundation called the bail reduction a slap in the face to victims and pushed hard for the judge to be held accountable. She was not interested in careful political language. Wanted the public to understand that a judge had looked at 9 felony charges involving children, spanning almost a decade, with at least 4 victims, and decided that man was safe enough to walk around Las Vegas with an ankle bracelet. And Shannara's own mother, Jamesetta Bernuti, said something that captures the whole tragedy in one sentence. She told reporters, if he would have been in jail, none of this would have happened. Judge Diana Sullivan defended her decision by pointing to Nevada Supreme Court guidelines that set out how judges are supposed to evaluate flight risk and public safety. She referenced the Valdez-Jimenez case, which courts in Nevada use as a framework for bail decisions involving non-monetary conditions. What nobody has been able to defend is the part of the ruling that placed no restrictions at all on Marvin's access to firearms. He had an ankle monitor and was not allowed near children, but nobody ever told him that he had to give up his weapon, and because of that, the gun was there when everything fell apart. There are no firearm restrictions documented anywhere in Marvin Patterson's bail conditions. Critics have been calling for Nevada to require mandatory firearm surrender in cases where someone is charged with crimes against children, but as of 2026, no formal reforms tied directly to this case have been recorded in public documents.
Tonight we are learning more about the man at the center of a suicide at the Centennial Hills apartment complex on Monday. According to court documents, 42-year-old Marvin Patterson was facing several felony crimes. Our Jaewon Jung explains why he wasn't kept in jail.
Police say 42-year-old Marvin Patterson killed himself and 3 others, including 2 children, in a shooting at a Centennial Hills apartment complex on Monday.
Right now we have 1 adult male deceased, an adult female deceased, 2 juveniles deceased, and 1 juvenile at UMC Hospital claiming to life.
Court documents reveal Patterson was facing several felony charges in Clark County, including against a child under 16 and lewdness with a child under 14. He was scheduled to go to trial next April. Last October, Patterson's bail was set at $100,000 for the charges he was facing, but just 2 months later in December, a Clark County judge lowered his bail to only $10,000, agreeing with his defense team Patterson would not skip bail and needed to help support his family. Patterson then posted bond and was placed on house arrest.
I think that the court system failed. I think that the prosecutors could have done more under these circumstances. I think that the guardian or whoever brought those children over to the defendant's home failed these children as well.
Former Clark County District Attorney David Roger believes more should have been done to keep Patterson in custody, given the severity of the crimes he was accused of.
This case is truly a tragedy. And there are a lot of people who have shared responsibility in what happened here.
Metro Police confirmed Patterson was under house arrest at the apartment where the shooting occurred. A former attorney for Patterson told Channel 13 while Patterson's wife and children lived separately, he believes she brought them to his home because she had been evicted from hers. The Clark County Coroner's Office identified the victims as 34-year-old Shanara Patterson, 14-year-old Keziah Cone, and 6-year-old Jamira Patterson. I'm Jaewon Jung reporting.
Now, let us talk about DJ, because his story is the one thing in all of this that gives people something to hold on to. Derek Cox Jr. was 11 years old when he was shot inside that apartment and rushed to University Medical Center in critical condition. In the weeks and months after the shooting, his father, Derek Cox Sr., started sharing updates on TikTok as DJ went through treatment. The progress was slow, but it was real. By May of 2024, his father shared that some progress is better than none, and described small but meaningful improvements in DJ's movement and thinking. Rumors spread through 2025 and into 2026, claiming DJ had died from his injuries, and his father came out each time to call those stories false and confirm his son was still alive and recovering. A GoFundMe page claiming DJ had passed away was identified by the family as likely a scam. Shortly after the tragedy, Isaiah Robinson, who ran the Trap Wings food truck and had known the family personally, organized a fundraiser to help cover the cost of the funerals. Shanara's sister, Kayla, organized vigils and balloon releases in their memory and later launched a hair collection she named Truth Beauty Hair Collection as a tribute to her sister's crafts and spirit. Shanara had done everything right. She worked for herself, raised her kids, and loved the people in her life with everything she had. When the man she married turned out to be something she never expected, she still tried to hold it together, still showed up for her children, and still believed the system had things under control. The system told her it did, gave him an ankle bracelet, and sent him home with his gun still in the drawer. Do you think the judge should be held responsible for what happened to this family? Drop your thoughts in the comments and click the card to watch another story just like this one.